Hello everyone, my name is Lowko, and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now, it feels like over the last couple of days, all I've been talking about is just the new maps that have recently been introduced in StarCraft 2. So, I figured today, let's actually cast another game, right? It's been like 4 days since I last casted a game of StarCraft. That's ridiculous. So spawning here in the top right-hand corner of Oxide and playing with the red Zerg drones, we have none other than Scarlett and her opponent in the opposite corner playing with the blue Protoss pieces. She goes by the name of Nina. Alrighty, so from what I've heard, this game is a lot of fun. It's a long game of Zerg versus Protoss. And considering a couple of you reached out and said that I should really go ahead and cast this game, maybe. I'm gonna make the assumption that this is not quite gonna be your standard game. Also because both of these players play this matchup a little bit differently. What I mean with a standard game, by the way, is one of those matches where the Protoss player is sitting back and just making a lot of Stargate units, and then Zerg is gonna go Corruptors and Vipers and Infestors, and like, we never attack each other, right? I've casted plenty of those games, so if this game turns out to be that, it's never gonna make it to the YouTube channel. So hey, if you're listening to this, hello from the past. This probably turned out to be a pretty sweet game in that case. Anyways, we'll find out exactly what ends up going down here as we see both players going for their build orders. Cheeky little probe. Okay. So it is just going to be a Nexus over here, but Nina has already sent out 2 probes on the map. That's not normal. What are they doing? She just put up a little balloon right there in the opponent's natural. Now the probe was having a bit of a dance party over here with the Overlord. We don't actually see those moves often enough. Actually, if you have an Overlord selected and you type /dance, the Overlord actually does do a little dance. The only problem is that you can't actually control the Overlord or cancel the animation while it's doing its little dance. Fun fact, actually. I think this proves once and for all, okay, that Protoss is overpowered. Because it turns out when you have Immortals and you do /dance with them, even though they're dancing, apparently they still fire. So every other unit, you know, is gonna be idle and they can't really do anything. And you can't even cancel the animation. But the Immortal, I'm outraged. Not that you really want to be dancing your Immortals in the middle of combat, but apparently that is a thing. That used to be a thing, actually, way back in the day. Okay, it's gonna be a proxy Stargate, but I remember people used to make up these like bad-mannered moves, right? So basically what they would do is like drop mules in the opponent's main base. So basically to tell them, get out of my game, it's over, I'm willing to throw away thousands of resources by dropping mules instead of your base. Dancing the units, right? I kind of liked it whenever the Stalkers and the Immortals danced just to try and antagonize the opponent. Or I've even seen like proxy hatcheries going up in the opponent's side of the map, just to like force them out of the game. Like say, you know, it's a battle for the 3rd base, one drone comes along and then a hatchery gets planted down right over here. We don't really see that anymore. I guess the problem is that most of these, you know, StarCraft 2 pros have been around for such a long time that they're actually pretty good friends. And doing that to a friend, I mean, is a bit of a jerk move, right? But yeah, I do like seeing that every once in a while. I mean, I would personally never do it because I would feel like such a douchebag, but it is kind of fun as a fan of StarCraft. Anyways, so what's the advantage right here of this Stargate? Well, as you may have already noticed, there's only a handful of queens out. Spore crawlers aren't even up yet. They're not even building. So that means that this Oracle is gonna arrive a good like 10-15 seconds earlier. And this is quite annoying. Oh well, 5 drones is probably the best you can hope for. You can see that Scarlett actually still got her queen out, just barely in time there. I mean, if that second queen wouldn't have spawned, I'm pretty sure that would have been like 7 or 8 drones. The only downside, obviously, of proxying the Stargate, and it is going to be a second Oracle coming out of this as well, is that you're never going to be able to go for like a... Well, you could theoretically go for like a double Stargate transition, but you're not going to be able to build, you know, another Stargate over here. You're probably going to have to rebuild like 2 Stargates at home instead. So this Stargate is pretty much always going to go down. This Zergling will eventually nibble through that pylon. This time around, the Oracles are, well, once again, heading to the main base. Little bit of cheekiness there. It's like the location that's so obvious that you could see Scarlett right there already heading on over to the natural expansion just because it makes way more sense to send the Oracles in that direction. But nope, Nina thought of it. She's like, nah, I'm just gonna go ahead and go after the main base once again. And yeah, all things considered, I mean, 10 worker kills is not bad at all. third base has gone up uncontested, but indeed, it is going to be a robo transition right now. So kind of what I was anticipating. Usually, if you proxy a Stargate, it's not going to stay up for very long, right? You're going to be able to make a couple units out of it, and that's fine. But you're not going to be able... Alright, that probe lives. You're not going to be able to usually, at the very least, produce out of it reliably for very long. So it is going to be a Twilight now after the robo, together with a Forts too. So it looks like Nina is just going to go for that transition towards a relatively normal army. Now, Scarlett recently has been going for a ton of Queen Marches. I think every single ZVP that I've seen of hers recently is all Queen Marches together with Roaches. I've seen, like, Roach Ravager Queen, I've seen a Roach Queen, I've seen a Ling Roach Queen, I've seen Swarm Host Queen Roach. Like, there's been a variety of builds that she's been executing, but they're pretty much all based around pushing with Queens. It indicates to me... Oh, actually, apparently the Oracles decided to jump back in. Ooh, this is quite nice. Ooh, once again, they both stay alive. Yeah, Nina has got a really good micro. Oh, okay, well, I don't think that these are gonna live for very... Oh, no way, they juked! I was gonna say, there's no way these are gonna live for very long, right? But, yep, once again, the most obvious path apparently is the safest. What was I saying? Oh, right, I'm pretty sure that Scarlett doesn't feel too comfortable playing Zerg versus Protoss at this point. Because I have seen her go for like a ton of queen-based pushes, like I was saying. And it kind of indicates to me that you're not really willing to let the game go the distance. Not entirely sure if that's true, but I'm just, you know, thinking out loud here. I wouldn't be surprised at the very least if it's not something that she's too comfortable with. That being said, if you know that the Stargate has been proxied, the chances of your opponent then going more Stargates at home until late game are very, very low. So this is very likely going to be... Ooh, okay, well, never mind. It's likely then going to be a robo transition. So maybe you could just play macro as Zerg. But anyways, it is going to be Swarm Hosts. I haven't seen actually pretty much any Zerg player go for Swarm Hosts recently. Other than Scarlett. So it seems like pretty much everyone is, yeah, no longer playing Swarm Host. So look at that. So many Overlords have been produced just to free up a lot of supply. So 14 Swarm Hosts can be made. Swarm Host Queen is surprisingly strong. Queens are super tanky, obviously. Especially when you have this much energy saved up. There's going to be like half a dozen transfuses at least by the time that these units get across. I mean, judging by their positioning, I think they will. Yep. Now Nina does see this. This is really nice. She sees the march right now. Has she seen the... yeah, she has seen the Infestation Pit. So that makes it obvious right now that it is going to be Swarm Host. And this is really nice. If you can trigger that first wave, yep. This is exactly what you want to do if you're a Protoss player. Just back off right now. Triggering the first wave is so nice. One of the real strengths of the Swarm Host push is that you kind of need to get yourself that first wave down as fast as possible. And it needs to deal as much damage as possible. Triggering that first wave like this is nice. Now, charge is super late here. It only just now starts up. There's also a Dark Shrine. Good dodges right here on the Corrosive Biles. A couple of the Locusts have landed inside of the main base right now, and they're going to be able to start picking off those workers. I think that this is still a really good fight, though, for Nina, assuming she doesn't lose literally everything inside of the main. Okay, 11 probes end up going down here. There's a lot more roaches coming out of this. Okay, well, you know what? I was thinking this was looking really good for Nina, especially initially, but... yeah. I think actually, where did all the sentries go? Okay, yeah, 4 sentries here got killed together with 17 zealots. I think if there would have been charge, this would have been a relatively easy hold. This one's not going to get picked off, the Nexus that is. But you can see the Locust DPS is absolutely insane. While that's going on, we do have a Prism making its way across. And this is apparently going to be... I thought the Dark Shrine Rudder would be used defensively primarily, but apparently the big Warpin is going to go inside of the main base of the Zerg. So while these Locusts are going to town in the natural expansion, the Detector in the main will be killed, and with that, I think the main is pretty much gone, right? I mean, sure, you can have a couple Roaches here, and that's fine. But Dark Templar actually don't really mess around when it comes to dealing damage. Yes, they're basically glass cannons. And yes, in straight-up combat, they're not going to be particularly good against Roaches, but they can kill stuff really rapidly. Okay, there's finally the Overseer. So eventually, I think all of these DTs will go down, but not without picking off also a couple of those Roaches along the way, too. Looks like at the same time, we do see the Stalkers now engaging against a couple of the Swarm Hosts. Looks like a few of them indeed were killed. Blink is done. 16 probes end up going down here. All right. So where are we at right now, actually? This is a crazy game. This is what I love about those swarm host based openers, though. They seem to create this kind of thing, right? This kind of situation. Now, I know I say this every single time that I cast a game of Zerg versus Protoss with swarm hosts in it, but just in case you're unfamiliar, swarm hosts are better the smaller the Protoss army becomes. So at the bottom section of the screen, you can see the army supply that Protoss players have at this point. Well, this is awkward. Okay, that the Protoss player has at this point. Usually, once the army value reaches 100 supply, life gets much better for the Protoss player. So, up to this point, yeah, Nina has dealt with all of this just fine, but there's still a lot of swarm hosts available. There's going to be 11 here in just a second, even though a lot of them have been picked off too. I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a comfortable spot. Now, swarm hosts are also extremely supply heavy, so that is also something worth noting. If you look at the supply count right now, you think that Zerg is really far ahead. But that's not really the case. Like, the problem is with swarm hosts, you max out really quickly, and that's nice and all. However, you're gonna have a lot of, like, inflated supply, right? Like, you're gonna max out at 200, and then you can't get any bigger from there. However, the Protoss player, obviously, is gonna continue growing from there. And if it's like... Okay, let me try and put it like this. If it's a 200 supply Zerg army based around swarm host Roach going up against, like, a 150 supply Protoss army, that 150 supply Protoss army is gonna trash the Zerg. So, you're kind of on a timer here if you're the Zerg playing with these swarm hosts. I love this, though. Going for the Nidus network makes a ton of sense. Scarlett right now also transitioning towards the Hive, it seems. Alright. Don't know what we're going to use the Hive for. I was thinking maybe a lurker transition. That's what we see every once in a while. Anyways. I love what she's doing here, too. Only activating, like, I would say like half or so. Yeah, half or so of the swarm host. Ooh, okay. A couple of zealots will be picked off. And every single time we see these locusts flying around like this, it's free damage, right? Assuming you don't lose all of those units. Now, the fourth base will be picked off as well in the bottom right corner. But every single time we see the locust, you know, flying across, they get a couple kills here and there. It adds up, right? So you want to try as a Zerg here to keep that Protoss supply as low as possible. Now, Nidus worms are fantastic to move those swarm hosts around. You can pop them in the worm and pop them out somewhere else. You can bring them to safety while you're waiting for the locust cooldown to once again be available. You're going to be able to get yourself, you know, at least some safety here for the swarm hosts hiding inside of the Nidus Canal. Alright, now Nina has not been able to secure a fourth base yet. She's once again attempting to do so in the bottom right corner. Links over here will be picked off, okay? Big stasis ward over here as well. It's going to make it hard for those units to retreat. Apparently there was indeed now a Dark Templar in the top left-hand corner as well. There is one. Right next to the Stargate, we're going to see a Nidus worm pop up as well. You need to have detection, yeah. So I love what Nina is doing with this, right? So once again, by the way, apparently a couple units here get killed in the middle. She's buying a lot of time, right? So those individual Dark Templar, they're buying enough time to get like another warp-in round in. So slowly that Protoss army can grow. These locusts, okay, they will be activated quite far away. I don't know if this is the correct call. Yep. Scarlett is going to try and kill the Nexus, but it's not going to happen. Little bit of greediness. Nina still has, by the way, that Oracle alive from earlier. That Oracle actually so helpful. Very nice. Okay, a couple of units over here will be killed. Locust once again will float on over towards the main base. There's a stasis ward there as well. Once again, from that... oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, from that Oracle that we saw earlier, right? There have only been 2 Oracles produced in this game. And while one of them apparently got picked off, the other one managed to escape. I mean, they both managed to escape, but this one's still being a nuisance right now. Really nice. Keeping track of where that Zerg army is located and planting down stasis wards and stuff. Now, this is, by the way, one bad round of Locust away from being a Zerg win. Because these Locusts, like, they keep picking up more and more kills. And there you go. That's a Forge that was researching +3, if I saw that correctly. And then also a Nexus going down. These things are absurdly powerful. There's the Lurker then, by the way. +3 is coming up as well, so the Locusts do benefit from that. Spines are coming up. Okay. That being said, yeah, this Protoss army is very sophisticated. Couple of the High Templar, though. Ooh, all of the High Templar actually got picked off there, if I saw that correctly. There's still a lot of Stalkers and Immortals that remain. I don't see any Sentries here, which kind of sucks. Sentries would really help out quite a lot against this against this Zerg army that's all ranged. Once again, though, here comes the Locust Wave. This time around, heading towards the bottom right-hand corner. It's maybe going to take a couple of Locust Waves. But the first one is going to get a couple kills right here on the static defense. And I wouldn't be surprised if, well, you know what? Battery Overcharge is pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if future waves can get a little bit closer to killing the Nexus itself. Already, you blink twice. Units are on the other side of the map. Important to note, though, is that Nina did get the 4th base up right now, right? Scarlett's plan here was mostly to try and keep this Protoss player busy. If you can contain them on 3 bases, I mean, that is obviously a Zerg win, right? Doesn't really matter exactly how much eco you have. Now, the Zealots are also once again distracting, but once more, we have the Locust Wave heading towards the main base. A couple of Robos. Robo structures in general apparently coming up, but I don't think those are going to live for very long. And at the same time, there's once again a worm on the other side. Look at that Nexus. It was just finished. Bam. It's gone. And this is super annoying, because next time around, I mean, I'm pretty sure those Locusts can move once again on the right side of the map. And every single time, they're dealing damage. This is the way you want to be using those Swarm Hosts, right? If you have a cooldown on the... Well, unless you need them at home for the main fight. Yeah, if you have a cooldown available for the Locust Wave, you really, really want to be using it ASAP. Okay. This Nidus Worm will be killed. One on the right side of the map has not been spotted. Yep, and indeed, that's once again. I mean, the first 4 or so got spotted, but once again... Oh, this could get awkward. Okay, never mind. Once again, there are going to be a couple of Locusts that will pop up, and look at... Yeah, look at that. The Stasis Horde. Sadly, this time around, I mean, there's a little bit of RNG there, I guess, depending on where the units are coming from. Oh, Zerglings actually sneak into the natural expansion. Protoss is out on the map because they have been for such a long time. And yeah, this time around, a whole lot of photon cannons are killed. I think in a straight-up fight, though, this Protoss army is really, really strong. Good storms there as well. Dark Templar and Zealots apparently are going to be able to kill all of those units. Now, once again, massive storms go down, and that base is nowhere to be seen. That's a lot of probe kills. Ooh, that's so many probe kills. Alright, so even though Nina can win this straight-up fight, I think... It's gonna be hard to say. Yeah, right now there's lurkers underneath as well. Lurkers obviously are really nice against these ground-based armies. Storms, you know, are nice. Don't get me wrong, storms are pretty good. Archons obviously may very well come out of those Dark Templar as well. So Archon Immortal Zealot Storm, together with Stalker, it can deal a lot of damage against lurkers, but... It's dangerous, right? It's very dangerous. Once again, the Locust Wave. Man, I love the Swarm Host here. That is so sick. It almost makes you wonder why we don't see it more often from other players, right? Look at this. It's going to force the recall on at least part of that army. Alright. So even though the Nexus won't fall, I mean, once again, it alleviated a lot of pressure right here. Since the Swarm Host, or sorry, since the creep spread is quite far out as well, like the only reason, or the only requirement to pop down a Nidus Worm is to have vision of that location on the map. So since there's creep pretty much everywhere, Scarlet can just once again pop up another Nidus Worm over there, pop up another Nidus Worm over there, and the Swarm Hosts are going to be all over the place. Now this time around though, it feels like we're on a bit of a... Yeah, okay. According to me clicking on the minimap, or on the units tab right over here, the Swarm Hosts are somewhere over here. I guess that's our last known location. At this point though, like there is definitely a cooldown available. Yeah, I really loved what Scarlet was doing here, but now all of a sudden, we're not seeing any use anymore out of the Swarm Host. Hello. Why are we not seeing another Nidus Worm? I understand that there are 17 fires that need to be put out, but... Okay. Yeah, Scarlet all of a sudden giving the opponent a lot of opportunity right now to grab another base. She does have a massive bank, though, and there's also a... Oh, here come the lurkers once again. There's also a Spire coming up. I don't think Nina can really push with this anymore. Yeah, so most of the supply that was caught up in Swarm Host now has slowly been replaced by stronger units. So look at that. 10 more lurkers coming up. I mean... Archon Immortal Zealot Storm Stalker can definitely fight against lurkers when there's like 7 of them. I don't know exactly how it goes when there's literally 21. Got a feeling that this entire Protoss army is gonna have to be replaced here very soon by supplemental units. Now, indeed, okay. Replaced by supplemental units? That almost made sense. Anyways, The Robo Bay eventually did finish, even though it got cancelled. Ooh, by the Locust wave. Yeah, I don't know where the Locusts all of a sudden are. The Locusts were so helpful earlier. They're still just hanging out in the Nidus network. I don't know. Anyways, this time around, we do now have Disruptors added into the mix. I feel like most Protoss players in this scenario would double down on going air units, which I don't think anyone would really complain about. It's really, really powerful. But apparently Nina looks at it, she's like, nah, you know what? Feeling pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and add on Disruptors. Disruptors obviously have an ability called Purification Nova, which is a big ball that you can throw forward. It's kind of like bowling. And it takes 2 of those balls to kill a full health lurker. Now, it deals a lot of damage in a radius, right? So it's a very, very scary unit. I don't think that up to this point they have been spotted, no. Okay, so there's 4 out right now. This is apparently the moment where Nina starts using them to roam around the map. Okay, finally another Nidus Worm is coming up. We've missed like 7 Locust waves at this point. Bit of a shame. Anyways, here come the Locust at the same time. Ooh! Yeah, the Disruptors are gonna have to move in. Couple of warp-ins over here. Battery overcharge is available to help out with this, I suppose. Maybe storm the Locust? Is that a thing? Oh. Well. Apparently, we did go bowling there for a little bit. Still, though, yeah. Once again, the recall is going to be forced. And at that point, the Roaches and Ravagers, or actually, just Ravagers, they back off. So real quick, in case you're unfamiliar how Purification Nova works. So it's like a ball, like I said. You go bowling, and then it deals a lot of damage. It's a cooldown-based ability, so you're not, you're not concerned with spell damage, or spell energy or anything like that. Mana is not relevant. Also, if the Disruptor gets killed while it's channeling the ability... Oh my god. The Lurkers just walked over here and killed the Nexus. While the ability is channeling, if the Disruptor gets killed, the ability is cancelled. So, theoretically, Zergs can jump on top of the Disruptors, but it's very hard to pull off. Okay, base in the top left-hand corner gets killed right after the base in the bottom right-hand corner gets killed as well. Dark Templar now once again going down inside of the mineral line. This game is incredibly hectic. I love this. So sick. Man, those Dark Templar have been super helpful. 31 drones end up going down. Fantastic. Now they also do emit a little bit of creep, as you can see, the Nidus Worms that is. So that does mean that the base in the bottom right-hand corner is gonna be denied for a little while longer. If you look right now at the eco, though, yeah, most of those mineral patches are running out. There's a lot of probes still available here for Nina. Only 28 drones, by the way. That's kind of crazy. Scarlett is apparently trying to recreate a base on the right side, but this is really her last lifeline as well. I mean, there's still some juice over here in this base, but we're gonna be running out pretty soon. Okay, well, once again, here come the Disruptors. Okay, good unburrow. Vipers are coming up as well. Now, Vipers can abduct the Disruptors. If Purification Nova is channeling while the Disruptor is being abducted, it's cancelled, which is massive. So, Vipers are the natural addition right here to Hydra Lurker. Super powerful. Oh, here we go. Yep. Okay, that's super nice by Scarlett. A couple of storms do go down. Purification Nova also utilized. Base on the left one once again be acquired. Okay. I really like this, though. So, Scarlett has been sitting on a very small amount of workers, right? For quite some time. How many workers? Okay, there have been 58 workers killed this game. She's currently got 37. So, she hasn't really had a lot of workers here at any point. I haven't really been paying attention to the total worker count, but... There really was never a moment where we have seen the Zerg players sit at like 90 plus workers, which is where we see, other Zerg players at the highest level sit all the time. It's kind of cool. Apparently, yeah, she was anticipating the base in the bottom right. Okay. Immortal gets abducted. I wonder if it's not time, though, to start transitioning towards an air-based army here. Ugh. Right? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Disruptors and Archons and Immortals and Storm and stuff, they're really powerful. I don't think we've seen a whole lot of Archons, actually. I think Archons might not be a bad addition. Anyways, I've seen this go wrong for Protoss players so many times, I feel like the air-based army is much more potent. That being said, I mean, like I pointed out earlier, there's very little economy right here for our Protoss players, so... Yeah, maybe making that commitment right now to additional structures is not really One that she's comfortable with. Okay, so the base at the... What would this be? Like the 3 o'clock? I guess so. It will be acquired. Oh, there's energy available. At least on some of these Vipers. Okay, I love this. A little bit of spring cleaning. Apparently the Changeling is going to spawn, or is going to spot this location on the map, and it's going to help spawn another Nidus Worm. How many Swarm Hosts are we at? Just 10? Okay. Just 10 Swarm Hosts remaining. It is kind of cool, right? That is a lot of supply, by the way, caught up in Swarm Host. But I guess that's, you know, the worker count, right? Like, the worker count is helping that not be much of a problem. This is cool. This is very different than, like, a Serral or a Raynar would play this matchup. And this is now gonna be, like, since Protoss is nearly broke here, this is gonna be such a difficult, you know, army to actually deal with. Yeah, you can just go after the pylon or the robos themselves. There you go. Even though Zerg players like to think that those structures are free, they're not. They're actually quite expensive. Okay, so that's, right, 3 units. And they killed 2 robos and a forge. Now, 3 units is obviously between quotation marks, but... Yeah, the lurkers here at home are gonna buy a lot of time. If Zerg would be playing this off of like 80 drones, this army would be about half as big. Nina is, okay, roaming the map. Gets a couple queens, that's not bad. She's been roaming the map, by the way, for such a long time. Double robo being rebuilt, okay. Here goes the Locust wave once again. Just kill whatever you can. There you go, a High Templar. Maybe a couple of photon cannons, couple pylons here and there. Kill the Nexus itself, sure. Not bad. Okay. I actually really do like, though, where the Swarm Hosts are currently at. Like, back in the day, they were definitely too powerful and too boring. But right now, it feels like such a dangerous commitment to make a Zerg. Ooh. Okay. Good abductions. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that most Zerg armies just don't trade efficiently against Protoss, but this is one of the few that does. So Swarm Host based compositions, they force you into much lower economy games. I mean, that would be broken if you could also make 90 workers while going Swarm Host. But they force you into much lower eco games. But then you can actually start fighting these armies straight up. Yeah, so look at this. Protoss, this is something we never see. 27 minutes into this game, right? Protoss has actually lost more resources than Zerg. That's nuts. We never see that. That again, I mean, it's not like Zerg has had a superior economy here at any point. I don't think that's been the case at all. Zerg has been at a similar amount of eco pretty much all game long. Which is why I like this strategy so much. Now, this is wonderful right here by Nina. Yeah. Get those Ravagers. Ravagers, not cheap at all. Good move. It's a lot of gas down the drain. Nina, by the way, is now adding on a couple of Stargates here too. That's good. There's still a lot of bank here available as well for Scarlett, though. Guess the same can be said for Nina. Disruptors. Okay, no. Okay, there we go. Abductions. Ooh. Dude, the micro required to handle these armies well is nuts. Oh, Observer got killed. Okay. Yeah, Observer obviously is still needed to be able to actually spot the lurkers. Lurkers are burrowed units, so you do need a detector to actually see them. Okay. Swarm Hosts will be moving on over towards the left side. Now, I do like this. Okay. I really like what Nina has done here, actually. So even though it seemed like useless posturing, we actually... Yeah, look at this. We actually now do see Nina taking position right here at the bottom of the ramp of the Zerg. And now Zealots are going to be able to go into the natural. I mean, I'm assuming that was on purpose. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, there's a lot of expensive units being abducted all the time, though. But I guess if you can kill the natural, maybe even the main base. I mean, there's very little here, but if you can kill some of these structures, that would be fantastic. No more Vipers right now for Scarlett until she rebuilds the Hive. Locust, though, will once again be utilized here on the left side of the map. Good purification, Nova. Locust will be cleaned up by the Dark Templar. Zealots would not have done that job nearly as well, but obviously DTs are cloaked, so they can deal with the Locust much easier, plus their DPS is incredibly high. This is sick, right? Like, this is not what we normally see in Zerg versus Protoss. We're 29 minutes into it, and we have 2 Tempests and a Colossus on the production tab, while there's still Swarm hosts out and, like, Corruptors pissing on... Like, look at this. This is crazy. This is really cool. Oh, Banelings! Oh my god, well, hold on. What? Where did those even come from? So wait, let me get this straight. While the Protoss is here in the natural... Yeah, Scarlett built a Baneling nest ages ago, but she just never made use of it. She's remaking a spawning pool and then also a Baneling nest over here. She apparently got the centrifugal hooks upgrade, which is the Baneling speed. And now with all of the static defense cleared, or at least most of it cleared, apparently these Banelings all of a sudden show up. That's crazy. Like, this is the most ridiculous switch at this point in the game ever, but it worked. Since I guess the Swarm host cleared out most of the static defense, yeah, those Banelings could all of a sudden show up and get some work done. Did the Spire get killed, by the way? The Spire did get killed. Okay, a new Spire will be acquired. Anyways, I love this. Going for the Tempest at this point makes a lot of sense as well, right? Maybe Zerg can take the bottom right? I don't know. Anyways, going for the Tempest at this point is not a bad idea. Because obviously, they're going to be able to start picking off those units at a very long distance. Obviously, they can get abducted as well. Now, once again, these Swarm hosts have been absolutely worth their weight in gold. There were a bunch of them that died for free earlier on. But the ones that have been out now for like the last, I would say, 15 minutes of this game have been incredibly useful. Oh, actually, the Nidus network is in a little bit of trouble. Fun fact about the Nidus worm, or maybe a little bit of a morbid fact about the Nidus worm. If you kill the Nidus worms, as well as the Nidus network, all of the units that are within the Nidus worm insta-die. Even if you rebuild a Nidus network at that point, doesn't matter. The units will be gone. I guess they I don't know. They lose access to the surface or something. They have no more oxygen to breathe. I don't know what happens to them. Anyways, okay, look at this army. Look at this. What is going on? This is sick. I don't know if I like the Colossus very much, to be honest. Does it have range? No, look at this. Ugh. There's actually very few upgrades available. I wasn't really paying attention to that, but very few Protoss upgrades here in general. No forge upgrades, no air upgrades, no nothing, right? So a carrier transition would be difficult to pull off. But also no shield or armor upgrades for the ground units. Considering the amount of ground units that we've seen in this game, I think actually getting additional force upgrades would be very, very nice. Maybe it's a bit too late for that right now, but it basically means that all of those Zerglings and whatnot just deal way more damage. Don't get me wrong, like the +3 attack upgrade is way more efficient, obviously, but it's not like the armor upgrades are that expensive, right? Considering the amount of units that we've seen go down. Alright. What a game. Base in the bottom right, indeed, will be acquired by the Zerg. Remember the little balloon? Part of it apparently was hidden underneath the hatchery that was once here. Yeah, actually, killing the Nidus network seems very helpful. I don't know how the Nidus network survived out of all the structures that were there. Anyways, apparently the lurkers have decided that this is the time they will start marching. Maybe this is not the opportunity for it, though. Yeah, okay, they decide to go back home. Okay. Purification Nova is gonna connect. How is that Nidus worm still? Okay, there you go. Finally, the Nidus network will be around. There is still a worm on the left. Is that the last one, actually? Okay, no, there's 2. So there's one on the right side of the map as well. If that one gets killed, everything is gone. I feel like that could have been the last one. Yeah, Scarlett right now realizes what's happening. She's like, wait a second. Is that the last connector? I guess I'll get my units out, just in case. This is one Dark Templar with a mission. Apparently, it was ready to suffocate half a dozen or so of those swarm hosts, but not gonna happen. Nina's starting to run out of money, though. Yeah. I like her army quite a bit right now, but I wonder if that Skytle's transition is a little too late. Oh my god, the blinding clouds are coming down. There's the abductions that she has been looking for all this time. The Swarmos will release their Locust Wave as well, and that is way too much Zerg. Scarlett calmly and methodically dismantled the Protoss player, but Nina certainly did not go down without a fight. I wonder what this game would have been like if she got the armor upgrades a little bit quicker, and if she would have been able to transition towards those Skytles units a little bit quicker as well. Either way, I'm very impressed by the way that Scarlett played this game, though, because I don't think she really ever got more than like 3 base saturation. I wasn't really paying attention to the worker count, but did she ever go over 70 workers? Maybe at the very beginning she did, when she made the first wave of swarm hosts, but for the better part of this game, she was sitting at like 40 to 50 drones or so, and despite all of that, she still built up a massive bank. So this was an actual resource-efficient Zerg approach, which is something that we don't normally see, and something that I think a lot of people think is impossible. But Scarlett shows us in this particular game that indeed that is something you can pull off. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please take the 1 second that it takes to hit that like button down below. If you want to see future videos as well and you want to get notified as soon as they are posted, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon, so you get indeed notified as soon as they go up. I try to upload pretty much every single day. I also have a second YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/morelowko, which is where I post other games that aren't StarCraft 2. And completed playthroughs of games that I've streamed on Twitch. So check that out. Link is down below in the description as well. And last but not least, final thing I want to say today. Thanks to the Patreon supporters for supporting this channel directly. Anyways, for now, thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.